Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined today with both Slothy and Brian. Slothy, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Tired. Busy weekends lately, so it'll be nice to have a little bit of downtime. As I say, as we're ramping up for a trip next weekend where we're busy all weekend. So yeah, we'll
2023 CommanderFest.
Yeah, we'll start that off. If you're in Alberta, just in general, we're doing one of the face-to-face command events. Brian, go ahead and plug the promo code. We've got all that stuff.
You can get $5 off of your Commander package with using Into the 99 as your discount code when you check out.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I was going to say, how are you, Brian? So tell me.
Yeah, I'm excellent. I've been hyped up on this whole trip and everything, trying to get myself organized and prepared.
It should be a really good time. There's lots of people we're going to be able to interact with, both playing the game and also just other content creators and stuff. So we've got some cool interviews and hopefully games coming out with some fun players.
Yeah, we got organized a 3v3 Emperor.
Oh yeah, we are playing the Emperor.
Shoddy being the Emperor.
we have to decide who's going to be the Emperor.
Hi guys, I play the Slothy cards. You guys got to protect me.
True. One of the bodyguards is so mean. He just took my soul ring all game.
Yeah, right. I no longer have to actually fear Daniel's Tybalt's trickery.
Yeah, I still take Brian's soul ring in the Emperor game.
Oh man,
Your Majesty, I need this.
There needs to be a revenge, or I need to teach my bodyguards a lesson.
The Emperor game is just all infighting between us while the other players build a crazy board state. We're also going to be doing a bunch of the Lord of the Rings events because Lord of the Rings pre-release next weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and talk through some of this. There's a lot of them, a lot of cards in this set.
Yeah, I was kind of skimming through because, again, I like everyone knows I don't like looking at a lot of spoilers, but in Lord of the Rings, I do enjoy it, so I've been kind of snooping. There's some crazy cards in this set, and I can't wait to get my hands on them.
There's new unofficial partners for me, which makes me happy.
Unofficial partners.
Yeah, just a bunch of food token uncommon commanders that I'm playing with partner regardless.
Do you know what? That's freedom of the game, though. If you're playing with the group that allows it, go nuts. Rule 0, right?
Yeah. Rule 0 is a great one. We're gonna have a big one of those too soon. Let's jump right into our spoilers, I guess, and let's just let's rip through some of these ones because there's just crazy cards in this that are playable for everyone. Brian, you want to start us off?
Sure. I don't know how to pronounce this. Anduril, Flame of the West, 3 colorless, legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create 2 tapped 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. If that creature is legendary, instead, create 2 of those tokens that are tapped and attacking. Equip is 2.
This one's really cool.
So if you attack on a normal creature, just double token generator. If it's a legendary creature, double attacking token generator.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
And we got a normal art and a full art one.
Yeah, there's so many artworks. We're not going to go through how many artworks there are of things. There's too many.
A lot. I think there's 5 Aragorns here.
Yeah. Which one do you want to take, Slothy?
Arwen or Aragorn and Arwen.
I'll take the first one here.
Okay.
Next up we've got Aragorn and Arwen Wed. It is 4 green and a white for a 3/6 legendary human elf noble with vigilance. And whenever Aragorn and Arwen Wed enters the battlefield or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control.
It's a high cost, but it's a bonkers ability.
Yeah, this was one that when it was immediately spoiled, I went and built. I really like this one a lot.
I'm finding very little room to add stuff into Shalai and Halar here.
That's immense life gain, and exactly the ability to get your attack triggers as token generation is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like our counter generation, sorry. Yeah, no, like that's a really, really strong ability. It's definitely very playable. I wish this was, for some reason, I wish it was like a 5 cost. A 5 cost 3/6 with vigilance, I think, would have made this card great.
Yeah.
But again, still very playable. You're in green, boo-hoo with your 1 mana kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, you can Smothering Tithe, Cultivate,
Yeah, like
all that fun stuff.
the new food card that I consider ramp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
That conversation was
That was
fantastic.
fun on Instagram about Matt. I got so many topics for coming up. Brian's excited about these ones.
Yeah, so that'd be good.
The new one is Aragorn the Uniter, and this is a super playable card in so many archetypes. Like I would really love to see maybe even just a deck builder's challenge of how Brian, Slothy, and I would build the difference of these decks. Maybe we'll do a full episode on the 3 decks because this is a 1 red, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue, 5/5 human noble. So again, those are great stats.
It's the second commander in these colors, other than Atraxa now.
Yeah. Kianos, right?
Oh no, this has red in it. Sorry.
Yeah, no Atraxa in this one. But this commander does a lot. So let's first off just go over these abilities. Whenever you cast a white spell, you get a 1/1 white human soldier token. So even if you just want to build this as essentially a mono white deck that has some other
White
color mana,
weenies.
yeah, you're going to flood the board with tokens. That's great. Whenever you cast a blue spell, you scry 2. I think this is personally the weakest of the abilities. It's still a good ability, but comparatively, like the next one, whenever you cast a red, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. So you're lightning bolting on every red spell you cast. You cast a lightning bolt, you're hitting them for 6. That's rough. That's good, clean fun. And whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 till end of turn. It's not
green one is.
Yeah, it's not very hard. It's not very hard to get this to 21.
Yeah, no.
You need something that gives trample at least, though.
Well, you could build it really, really easily as a combat tricks deck where you're just running again only mono green. You could run this only mono green, have your normal cultivates, your normal land fetches to grab it out, and then the rest could be combat tricks. And again, what's that like? I think it's 4 spells you need.
Yeah, 4 spells would get Aragorn to 21.
Yeah, so I swing with my Aragorn. You don't block. I play something that gives a trample, and I just power buff it up, kind of like a Howling Abomination thing. Now, the thing I want to talk about is these are all cast triggers. These will all check the mana cost. So you can also run a multicolor version of this, really, really cool, where you're constantly casting cards that are in the Gruul colors or cards that are in the Azorius colors, kind of thing, right? You're going to now make a creature and scry 2. You're going to lightning bolt them and give Aragorn, not even Aragorn, target creature you control getting 4/4. So I think
really like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, you know what I mean? I think it'd be a really fun thing to just talk about the different ways to go about this, because this is, in my opinion, kind of close to Kenrith, right? Where there's so many routes you can go down this. Again, a multicolor matters version of this deck where you're just playing like guild colors in these.
He could go into a Kenrith deck too. It's a human noble.
Yeah,
like,
true. The noble creature type, I'm not a giant fan of. Had it been knights, this would have been just a phenomenally fun knight commander to build around and stuff like that. I think they really, really kind of hurt us on the creature type. But that being said, it's still a really, really cool. It's a very cool build path, and it's one that I can see a lot of fun games happening around.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably build mono red burn Aragorn. Just seems fun. Fill it with things like our Torbrand, our Fiery Emancipation. Every time you cast a spell, Aragorn.
City on Fire.
Yeah, it deals 9 damage. Okay. All right. Chill. Stop grape shotting me. I get it.
And the thing that you could also do is you could put that enchantment or equipment in that gives him infect. And then as soon as you start pinging them, because it's him doing the damage.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Aragorn dealing that damage is a very easy infect kill. Gross. I could talk about this card for a long time. I love things that let you take different build paths. That's why I have like 6 Kenrith decks, right? So I just wish they gave me, like, if this was a human soldier, we'd be building soldiers, especially with it making soldiers. We'd be building soldiers.
Oh, but, yeah. I would 100% go for the tribe.
But you know what? A Sharpie works. Rule 0 creature type. It's a human noble. Daniel, you can't just make everything Krakens. Come on, this is my primeval Kraken. I love Krakens as a type. Let's move on to the next one here.
I was actually on Queen of Cardboard. We were both on Queen of Cardboard stream last night, and I played with Donnie, Cardboard Pimpin', and he sent his deck lists, and one of them was called Suddenly Sea Monsters, and like you going on the Kraken thing.
That's funny.
Like, reminded me of it, and I was like, I loved that deck name. Like it made me laugh so hard. Like Suddenly Sea Monsters.
I like it.
It was the blue braids that just dropped stuff.
Oh, I love that. I love dumping in things with braids, but I always put in a Blightsteel Colossus. I'm an animal. I get it.
I would be there with you, actually.
Yeah, you
I
understand.
have a couple. Who I want to grab that.
The White Enchantment, obviously.
No, I don't even want that one. I want the next one after that one. So you guys can grab these two.
Slothy, you go for one, and I'll go for one.
Sure. I'll take this first one here. We got Arwen Mortal Queen, 1 green and a white for a 2/2 legendary elf noble. Arwen Mortal Queen enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. You can pay 1 to remove an indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, and put a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature, and a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on Arwen.
This seems very annoying to blink.
Yes.
See,
I just wanted to comment that the theme for Arwen, like the actual flavor from the movie, is fantastic. Because she ends up giving her necklace, which is like her life force, to Aragorn, so she becomes mortal essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know nothing of Lord of the Rings. Long movies.
Ooh,
Long movies.
Long movies. Get out of here.
It's only 19 hours. You can watch all 6 right now.
Yeah, right. Maybe
Commentary.
I will go through a new. I'll do a watch with Brian. He can explain it.
Yeah,
all
that's
to me.
when we're up there in the
at the hotel.
room.
We'll do a watch. You guys were 3 hours late to the show. Yeah, but really, have you seen the plot in this thing? Crazy. We've got Dawn of a New Age as our next one, and I really like this card a lot. It is 1 and a white. Dawn of a New Age enters with a hope counter on it for each creature you control, and another type of counter for things that care about types of counters, Luxio or any of those things. At the beginning of your end step, remove a hope counter from Dawn of the New Age. If you do, you draw a card. Then, if Dawn of the New Age has no counters on it, sack it, you gain 4 life. A very, very good card for white weenies decks and just mono white decks in general, which I like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Super good in like things like my Trellisara deck, where I'm trying to pump out these like little Soul Sister, Soul Warden kind of things, or Cleric decks. I love it.
You could even in your the blinking. Yeah, you could blink it, so you could even put it into your Elish Norn deck too.
Phenomenal as well for especially with Elish Norn. Enters, doubles your counters up, but just phenomenal for token decks too, because you drop something down 2 mana late game and you just continuously get your draw for it.
That board wipe 2 white and X. If X is 5 or more, board wipe, and you get to create X amount of soldiers. Yeah, Martial Coup, and then you drop that in.
Yeah, it'd be nice. All right, take the next one, Brian.
Yeah, so the next one, I was really excited because, like Daniel, I'm an animal, and I had to build an Elish Norn deck. And as soon as I saw Gandalf the White, which is 3 colorless and 2 white, Avatar Wizard with Flash, or Legendary Creature Avatar Wizard with Flash, you may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had Flash. If a legendary permanent of an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time.
I love double triggers. Love it.
I just thought this was entering. Now, rereading it for the first time on the podcast and seeing that it's leaves the battlefield too.
Yeah, all enters and all leaves. So anything that you put this in that has like when it dies, I believe that'd be a leave the battlefield trigger. Is that not right?
Also with Raynar or Ragnar, whenever you exile something, it gets +1/+1.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. The ability to double up your triggers is always great. I love it. But also the ability to build a mono white artifacts matter deck that has Flash from the command zone, I also love. Even even taking any of that out, right? That's very, very good to be able to just flash all of these things in.
Yeah.
Flash is a great mechanic to be in the command zone, and it also makes a lot of you don't have to be as afraid to play your commander, right? Every time any of us play our commander, there's always the risk that someone in our player group like Brian has a handful of removal, or Slothy has a handful of removal. People like to counterspell. Just put only creatures in decks, please. Please, for the love of but regardless of that, there's always the risk of that. And being able to hold it up right until your turn starts and be like, bam, Gandalf, what's up?
Even being able to just on your 5th turn, just say pass.
That's what I mean.
And
It's so nice to be able to flash that in whenever you want.
Mhm.
And then following that up, it's really
And
fun
it's
to
a
flash in
4/5 body.
artifacts. Because everyone's gonna toss like worm coil engines into this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah.
attack. Do you? Interesting. Bam. Worm coil.
Funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you would get 2 of
How-
each. Amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you would when worm coil dies. You sure would. It'd be a problem. It'd be a real big problem.
Same thing with like Triplicate Titan too.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah.
Or the Mondrak.
Yeah, your token doublers. Yeah, there's the other thing too is a Legends Matter deck in mono white is really fun. Like the Yoshimaru deck already is a pretty entertaining deck, and this just makes it so you flash the most loyal dog to protect yourself from death. It's all revenge. There's a lot of flavor going on in this deck. I might build mono white Gandalf just to play them. It's really, really fun.
Oh, man. And yeah, there's 4 arts with this guy. He looks great. He is a 4/5. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, Flash is a good time.
Mhm.
Sloth, you want this
Take the
next one here?
Yeah. Next up, we've got Glamdring, 2 mana for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has first ring, gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal than that damage without paying its mana cost.
Pretty good. It's a pretty good card.
Awesome.
Especially with an equip of 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing I like as well is it's on par with the normal swords that you run in a deck, right? Where
Yeah.
it's 2 to cast, 3 to equip kind of thing. You just don't
I
get
think
your
it's the opposite way
protection.
around for most of them. 3
No.
to cast, 2
Is
to
it 3
equip.
to cast, 2 to equip? Either way, 5 mana. The top one, the Enduro as well too. Also doing the same kind of thing. I just like playing swords. Swords matter theme.
Yeah.
I don't like the Voltron type commanders. I just feel like that's just not my play style, so I always just
You pack your deck with single target removal. Yeah, of course. Of course you don't like it. Go wide, Brian. Try hit all these tokens. I'm going to take these next two because I like these next two. Number 1 is Hugh the Entwood. 3 double red. You sack any number of lands, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands sacrificed. Choose any number of artifact and or lands revealed this way. Put all non-land cards chosen this way onto the battlefield. Then all lands this way chosen onto the battlefield tapped. Then the rest on the bottom. So this is just a great thing for a Windgrace themed deck where your whole point is to get your lands back anyways. But also the ability to throw away just tons and tons of lands to dig deep for artifacts like that and have them enter followed by the lands entering is really cool.
You want to take these two and you don't even know the movie.
Don't need to.
You don't even know the theme.
Don't need to. This is Kalen. The next one's Kalen. Last March of the Ants. She's very tall. 6 double green. Sorcery. The spell can't be countered. You draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Then put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Don't need to know the movie to know I like that.
That's very decent.
Blight Steel
Basically,
Colossus. Draw 11. Put 11.
I'll fill you in. The gobbo started chopping down the trees. The living trees weren't too pleased about it, and then they marched off to go and squish the gobbos.
That's fair.
That is the dumbed down version.
I like it.
You don't want to go over to the 3-chapter explanation Tolkien had in the book?
Spoilers. They got through 8 cards and then Brian just talked for 9 hours. Daniel went to bed.
And the funny thing is, though, like, the Ents had a meeting that lasted like 5 days.
You get it.
They just swayed. They swayed.
That's As bad as it is, I always laugh at the Clerks reference to it. It's like even the trees walked in that movie. The whole movie was
Oh
walking.
yeah, the whole movie was about walking.
Yeah, even the trees were walking. Yeah, I love that movie. I also want to take this land too. Mount Doom. You've got a legendary land. You pay a life. You can add a black or a red. Great. One black, one red. Tap 1 damage to each opponent. Love that for a good old Mogus slug.
Can you give Mount Doom infect?
I mean, to be honest, you could. Yes, you can animate them. Yep. 5. To be honest, it'd be really funny to see somebody make a Rule 0 Mount Doom commander. I would allow it. I allow anything in Rule 0. Rule 0, you give me your wallet. This guy's got me. This guy's good.
You start at 1 life, and I start with a lightning bolt in my hand.
They get me every time. 5, 1 black and 1 red. You tap, sack Mount Doom and a legendary artifact. Choose up to 2 creatures, then destroy the rest. Activate only as a sorcery. I like the flavor of that.
Yep.
And then the next card we have here is Palantir of Orthane. Is that an E? Orthak? I think it's a C.
I think it's a C. Thank.
3 colorless, and at the beginning of your end step, put an influence counter on, I'm not going to say it, and scry 2. Then target opponent may have you draw a card. If that player doesn't, you mill X cards, where X is the number of influence counters on this artifact, and that player loses life equal to the total mana value of those cards.
To be honest, really, really solid in that ninja deck, Yuriko. You want to let me draw, or do you want to let me mill 3 and you want to lose 30 life?
Wow, yeah, doubled up.
Yeah, that'd be fun because you're trying to top deck big cards anyways. You don't care if the big cards are there, so you're either getting a draw every end step for 3 mana, or Yuriko decks would love this one.
Mm-hmm.
Slothy, please, I know you want it. In your heart.
Next up, we've got Radagast the Brown. 2 double green for a 2/5 legendary avatar wizard. When Radagast the Brown or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's mana value. You may reveal a creature card that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control from among those cards and put it into your hand, and the rest go to the bottom of your library in a random order.
I love that ability. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
I love inherently built-in draw, and I love the artwork of this.
Mm-hmm. I think they're missing just a little bit more bird poop.
They are. Absolutely.
This guy had like a bird nest up on his head, and his
face was covered.
Yeah, half his face is covered in crap.
Fair. So he's a crazy person.
Yeah, he talks to animals. Like he just in the woods all by himself, just chilling with animals.
Oh, I didn't know we were all perfect. I think that's a really fun one to build. As soon as we saw that, we were all going through, who's going to build this one for the episode, because this is such a cool one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Slothy's taking this one as a deck tech.
Very fun anti-tribal commander.
Yeah,
that's not me. I like tribes.
This is I just love being like, and now Toski, followed by the Wolf, followed by, you guessed it, Wilson,
followed by Blightsteel Colossus.
Kenrith's transformation. That's not even a creature. It's got an elk on it. Leave it alone.
Oh, your thing's now an elk.
Tribal enchantment elk.
Someone's getting an elk. Yeah. Brian, do you want to take this next one as well? You seem to understand the movies better than me, so. Sure,
I'll take Saruman. So we got Saruman of many colors. 3 white, blue, black. Legendary creature, avatar wizard. Ward, discarded enchantment, instant, or sorcery card. I'm loving the different wards.
I hate that ward, though. That's rough.
Yeah, that one is bad. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, each opponent mills 2 cards. When 1 or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant, or sorcery card with equal or lesser mana value than, this one's so small, than the spells from an opponent's graveyard. copy and copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. It's a 5/4 again.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what that means. What am I exiling to do? What now?
Cast your second spell. Each opponent mills 2 cards, and one or more cards mill this way. Exile target enchantment. Is your sorcerer with equal or lesser mana value than that spell from?
So is it
Okay,
less
so
than
when you
your
cast
second spell?
Yes.
Okay. So if I can't just like fill my deck with like one drop nonsense, like I will Portent and then Brainstorm and then cast Brian's Smothering Tides.
No, it has to be equal or lesser than the second spell you cast.
Rip. Fair. It's a still a very cool card.
Mm-hmm.
That ward is rough. The ward on the next one's rougher.
Oh yeah.
I also really like the second artwork on this one, the swirling one.
Let me drop down.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool. Like it's like in the ring kind of thing.
Yep. That was him up in the. Oh, never mind. You didn't watch the movies. He was the tower.
You get it. Yeah, it's the eye. I understand. Sauron the Dark Lord, 3, and Grixis, blue, black, red. Avatar Horror 7/6. That's beefy. Ward, sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. That's brutal. That's a rough cost to try get this thing off the field. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass orcs 1. I want to say about the amass orcs thing first. Someone explained earlier in a comment that I was seeing that the flavor is really good with the amass thing rather than having it like a bitter blossom thing. But I'm simple brained, and I like bitter blossoms effect more. I wish that this every time whenever they cast one, I made a 1/1 orc. That would be wonderful. Would it be too strong?
The bitter blossom would be every upkeep make one basically.
Where it makes one and I like lose a life for that making one thing, kind of risk reward thing, and people can kill me by playing lots of spells. This just your orcs get bigger and bigger and bigger. I get it.
Well, you make an army.
Yeah, right.
Your army keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, the orc.
I like a math.
And then whenever an army you control deals combat damage to your player, the ring tempts you, and whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand if you draw 4 cards. That's annoying because if you don't have any cards in hand, I'll discard.
Yeah.
I discard nothing.
I'll take 4 though.
Yeah. Discard nothing, draw 4. Draw nothing. Die to self-mill. Didn't think this game plan through.
Well, that's usually how my Nekuzar deck goes.
You're not wrong.
Let's draw 65 cards. Brian, you only have 10
I didn't
left.
see this card before. I also have to read this card before. Shadow of the Enemy, 3 triple black. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You can cast spells from among them for as long as they remain exiled, and the mana can be spent of any color. This is my lifestyle.
Do you know what? Daniel will play this, and he'll have no like, he won't care.
I'll put this in.
And then as soon as someone else plays it against him, he's like, "Oh, this is how you guys feel."
I play other people's cards. Other people don't play my cards. That's nuts.
We'll play Daniel's Black Lotus.
Yeah. I cast your Bazaar of Baghdad. I quit. I hate this game.
No, I don't even want the Bizarre Baghdad. I want your Tabernacle.
You don't play it.
I hate it here. If I'm playing a Muldrotha deck or something like that, which is still a very popular commander, and somebody hits me with Shadow of the Enemy, I'm going to be upset. There's literally no way around that. I'm going to be upset.
That's funny. This next card looks fun. Spiteful. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, just before you jump into it, Dan accidentally jumped over one of them.
Oh, did I miss something?
Sauron the Lidless Eye.
Oh, I definitely did. You know what? There's no way for me to know.
I thought they were all the same.
I thought it was 4 different artworks.
Please indulge us.
I'll take this one. Sauron the Lidless Eye, 3 black and a red for a 4/4 legendary Avatar Horror. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap and it gains haste until end of turn. And you can pay 1 black and red. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Each opponent loses 2 life.
You can. Gotta just make a really beefy mana base for a Rakdos deck.
Yeah,
that's not that bad. All creatures or all artifacts, turn them into artifacts somehow. I don't know.
That'd be amazing.
I wish there was a
but
Rise and Shine in those colors. That'd be cool. Because red's got a lot of fun things. Yes, now you go to your Spiteful Banditry.
Yes. Spiteful Banditry X and 2 red enchantment. When Spiteful Banditry enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each creature. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent's controls die, you create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn.
It's a good card.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't triggers every once each turn, but it's a good card.
Yeah.
The I don't understand the other full art one. Maybe I'm just missing something, but it just looks not good in this frame.
Oh, the second art for it?
Yeah.
That's a hobbit hole on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it looks like the artwork for this thing was like a big piece, and they're just like, oh, we'll just take this one
little
It's
section.
like zoomed up and cropped. It's not good.
Kind of like the Mystical Archive Faithless Looting.
Yeah, we're exactly where if you I don't like that card anyways, but it was without question better in the full version. It's not artwork I like, but if you compare it, it does. They did do the card dirty with how they zoomed it.
Yeah, you can at least kind of tell what's going on in that one.
You can at least tell it's artwork in the other one.
Yeah.
We also have a card that I'm going to be putting in every deck. Just so many decks. We have Storm of Saruman. 4 double blue, an enchantment with Ward 3, and Ward on an enchantment is something that I know Brian is excited for in his heart. The only way to defeat Brian is to defeat his enchantments, and now they're giving them Ward. It's not going to be long because they've been printing the things like that Brass Guardian where your artifacts all have Ward. If they start giving Brian cards that give his enchantments Ward,
the artifact pterodactyl, all legendary creatures have Ward 2.
Yeah.
I threw that into my Urza deck too. So Bronze Guardian and that.
Yeah, it's a problem. So Ward 3 on an enchantment. Gross, disgusting. And whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary and you can choose new targets for the copy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not instant sorceries. That's spell, which means that I can brainstorm and make a second commander in any deck.
Yup.
That is a giant problem. And it's not during my turn. It's not whenever you cast your second spell during your turn. It's whenever. Just whenever you get around to it. Just if you feel like spamming some spells, just whenever. Go ahead and get your legendary double copies. That's a very, very strong card, which I can see becoming exponentially problematic the more the game goes, because everyone buys Sakashima. You can't find Sakashima anywhere because it's so fun to have copies of your commander. I play a Miram deck, Dragons, and Miram is really easy to like make a not legendary Miram. That's a problem. You just give me something where I just simply have to cast one other spell and I just repeat this all the time. That's well, not good. It's not good news. Bad news bears.
You do like the bears,
right? Yeah, it's like there's a lot of decks that something like this goes into because, again, this is just another Storm card and everybody loves to Storm. Everybody loves that copy. But the ability to get your extra commanders is what's disgusting.
Yeah. Like you said, brainstorm and then I'll cast my commander.
This is the Keranos, the red blue god. This is specifically something I want in that kind of a deck. Because that deck already is every turn revealing my top and either giving me a draw or bolting people, right? So if I'm just sitting there, I'm constantly already refilling my hand, and I'm going to be doing it now 6 times a turn because I'm just filling the deck with low mana nonsense. Yeah. Also, I would rule 0 this one.
Of course you would.
I believe in rule 0ing everything. I also believe in throwing the next card in a volcano.
That you do.
Yeah.
I don't know much of the movies, but I do know that if I crack this card, I will throw it in a volcano. Does not matter what they
There's only one.
I will eat this one live on camera if I pull it.
The 1 of 1. Did you see that, Brian?
Yeah.
Have you seen the prices people want for it?
Oh, I saw that their Cassius 500,000, and then I saw another one for $1 million.
Yeah, it's up to $1 million now already. Yeah, listen, getting $1 million is great. Is it life-changing? Sure. Could you do great things with this $1 million? Yes. But is it hilarious to throw it into a volcano? Yeah.
100%.
Obviously. Obviously, it's hilarious to take a month off work and go mess around with like very low quality camera stuff, find a volcano, and have Brian chase me around saying, "Do not throw this in the fire, please." Yeah, exactly. You get it. You understand? It'd be fun. It'd be a good time. Unquestionably hilarious to throw this
Need
in.
a loincloth, by the way.
You could set it on fire as well too. I'd be all right with that.
True.
I just hope whoever cracks it has the stones to follow through.
We do. Well, someone read it.
Oh yeah, I guess I should say what it does. Something, something, something. Elven writing. Something, something, something. Yeah. Okay. So it's 4 mana. The One Ring is a legendary artifact, indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn, which is hilarious in my Kenrith deck, by the way. I never take a turn one. I just keep skipping my turns. Hilarious. It's protection from everything. Love it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on it. Tap, put a burden counter on it, then draw a card for each burden counter on it. I also really like this for a lot of kind of decks where I'm trying to throw my life away in general, like the Beladross kind of decks, the new Grima one where my opponents can't gain life. I'm obviously going to sit there and Mages of the Mirror and Soul Conduit them because that's who I am as a person. You gain nothing.
In all honesty, on the Mount Doom card, they should have flavored it that you can tap and blow up the One Ring.
True.
Because Mount Doom's the only place that you can take the ring to destroy it.
Well, in Mount Doom, you got to sacrifice a legendary artifact, I think. Is it? Where is that card? It's up here somewhere. Mount Doom is, sack Mount Doom and a legendary artifact.
To blow up the One Ring?
You know what, Brian? You guessed it, Rule 0. Mount Doom and the One Ring. Rakdos deck.
Partner commanders.
To be honest, I would also play that. I just like seeing people's decks. There's not too much I wouldn't play.
So there's some extended art, and then we got Smeagol's Hand with the One Ring.
That's the one that's like the big mural when you get them all together, right?
Yeah.
For the 4th art there, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Kraken.
Yeah. So then we got the Watcher in the Water, 3 and 2 blue legendary creature Kraken. The Watcher in the. Why do I keep picking the ones with small writing? The Watcher enters the when the Watcher in the Water enters the battlefield, tapped with 9 stun counters on it. Whenever you draw a card during an opponent's turn, create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. Whenever a tentacle you control dies, untap up to 1 target Kraken and put this counter on up to 1.
You put a stun counter on it so that they don't get untaps.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
This is the one that lived near Moria, right?
Yeah, he's the one that's sitting in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually watching a video. So the orcs or something like that flooded that pool to bring the Watcher in the Water to that front door or to that door, so the dwarves couldn't actually escape out of that entrance.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the name of anyone building this deck should be the Watcher in the Water, Stunning Tentacles. Obviously, that's the way to play it. You want this next one too here, Slothy?
I absolutely want this next one.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorite commanders ever as of right now. Tom Bombadil. He is Wooburg for a 4/4 legendary God Bard. As long as there are 4 more lore counters among sagas you control, he has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. It only triggers once each turn.
That's sick, though.
And with some of the sagas that I've seen coming out in this set, that is absolutely awesome.
Just in general, being able to flip into that Kiora one, for instance, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's so many from the Kamigawa that when their last saga triggers, they flip over to their new thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be very fun to play this commander.
Yeah.
Even the new Praetors, they flip into.
Oh yeah, they're all.
All of the new Praetors are in my version of that one.
Gross. You're a bad person.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's what they get for not putting Tom in the movie.
Fair.
Those cowards.
Brad, you want this next one?
So we got the Witch King of Angmar, 3/2 black, legendary creature, Wraith Noble, flying. Whenever one or more creature deals combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices the creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn. The ring tempts you. Discard a card. Witch King of Angmar gains an indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. 5/3. And we got some cool art for it too.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I really like this ring version of cards.
Yeah.
Just that frame looks so cool.
Yep.
All of the artworks of this, all three of them look pretty cool. Who's that one? Anna Stein something? I can't read that from there, but it's very good artwork.
Aragorn?
Yeah, on the Aragorn.
That's Andreas Rocha.
No,
Oh,
that one's cool too, but the boat artwork one is also really
the
nice
boat
artwork.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have Aragorn, company leader, because why not have more Aragorns? If you if you choose a creature other than Aragorn, company leader as your ring bearer, put your choice of a counter from among First Strike, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink on Aragorn. Those are wicked counters. Whenever you put one or more counters, I guess it makes sense in Selesnya with the counter theme. Whenever you put one or more counters on Aragorn, put one of each of those on up to one other. That's wicked. That's really cool.
one other target creature.
Yeah. So you can make a bunch of like death touching creatures, bunch of life linking. That's really cool. What is a ring bearer? I don't know.
So I got it pulled up here. So when the ring tempts you, you get an emblem named the ring. If you don't have one, then your emblem gains its next ability, and you choose a creature you control to become or remain your ring bearer. So the ring can tempt you if you don't have a creature. Gains its abilities in order from top to bottom. Yada yada yada. The abilities is your ring bearer is legendary and can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Second one is whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card and discard a card. Whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life.
So you can just make your commander like,
Mhm.
all right, block
Mhm.
it and then sack whatever you block with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's rough.
But we do have a couple, like we have 3 arts for that Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
The like I said, all of these ring versions of every card, I haven't seen one I didn't like so far. Is that what it is? Am I right with that's the artwork? It's supposed to be like through the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Elvish writing on it is, I'm pretty sure, the writing that would be on the ring. I'm just gonna skip that red one because I really just want to say the land. Barad-dûr.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a old fort, or it's like a fortress there. Legendary land, Barad-dûr enters the battlefield tapped. Unless you control a legendary creature, tap it to add a black. X and a black. Tap it, amass orcs X. Activate only if a creature died this turn.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those who pass the gates of Barad-dûr do not return. Gandalf.
Some real words of encouragement.
Yeah, right? Don't go there.
Don't go there or I'm not picking you up.
And then we do have the red one that I skipped, which was the Assault of Osgiliath. X and 3 red, amass orcs X, then goblins and orcs you control gain double strike and haste until end of turn. Oh my. Like that.
That
That's
could be good in Ovika.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be gross.
that'd be lovely.
As a monsters.
You like it.
This next one. I love this theme for this set. Bilbo's Ring, 3 mana, legendary artifact equipment. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature has hexproof and can't be blocked. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, you draw a card and lose a life. Equip Halfling for 1, or equip for 4.
That's cool.
Halfling tribal.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
would
lot of cool
100%.
halflings in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's my unofficial
got
partner pairings are
Pippin
all
and-
halflings.
Pippin and Merry, Sam and Frodo. They should have really given Sam and Frodo partner. Same with Merry and Pippin.
I think some of them do have it.
Do they? Good.
In the commander decks, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
There's I really like this next one too. This Born Upon a Wind. One colorless, one blue. You may cast spells this turn as though they had flash, and you draw a card. I like that.
Yeah.
They should have really. For this next card, we got Boromir, one Warden of the Tower, 2 and a white, legendary creature, human soldier. Vigilance, whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Amazing. Sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And then the ring tempts you, and it's a 3/3. I would have loved a Sean Bean Boromir card. He dies in all of his movies. Enshrine the man in a card.
Yeah.
Give the man that.
Do you want this next one too? Because I want the one after that.
Sure, I'll take the next one there. Call of the Ring. And this one I really like, actually. I like the design of the artwork. It looks like he's actually wearing it, and he's like in that shadow realm kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
1 in the black. Enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you. Whenever you choose a creature as your ring bearer, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. The ring is mine.
True.
Yeah.
That card's silly, yeah.
Yeah, we got Delighted Halfling. It's a single green for a 1/2 halfling citizen. You can tap it to add colorless, or tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and that spell can't be countered.
Nearly an auto include for commander decks.
Absolutely. This one I've found slotting in a lot in place of like Fintorn Elves.
The fact that its worst case is still just tap for 1, not horrible.
Yeah.
Right, like
I really like it.
But yeah, the giving things, everyone keeps talking about how they pair it with Teferi, where your opponents can only cast sorceries and wreck the game for them. Because you can't counter and then they can never counter. Control this.
Yeah.
Degenerates. Yeah, the ability to get that color fix for your legendary creatures, the uncounterable for your legendary spells in general, right? Planeswalkers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can see that card having a fairly high price.
Yeah, definitely.
It's one anyone's going to be happy to crack open. It's a great card.
I would love to pull like 8.
I also love the coloring on all of the artworks of this too.
It looks so nice.
Just like those pinks, the purples, like stuff like that. Like that's really gonna look so good in a foil.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a Hobbit gathering.
Yeah, like in the second one where they've got the cake, like that, all of that's gonna look like so good. Like the ale coming out of the mug, the candlelight, the strawberries, all of it's really, really nicely done artwork.
It almost looks like it's the person that's in the first cards in the back, but her face is being cut off by the name tag.
Maybe. Yeah. It just looks so cool. It says pre-release, by the way. So if they give this out as like the pre-release card, then you bet I'll be doing pre-release all weekend.
Oh yeah.
Sign me up for a lot of events. Yeah, like I said, there's so many decks, especially from like a more competitive standpoint, right? This is a very, very good mana dork for like a more competitive kind of deck where you want to get those spells out. Anything that says can't be countered is definitely solid for what we're normally playing with.
Work really well with like Vexing Shusher too.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of decks that are really, really going to care about stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also have Display of Power, which has a line of text that I like to see. It's interesting. This spell can't be copied. Yep. It's 1 double red. This spell can't be copied. It's an instant. Copy any number of target instant and or sorcery spells. You may choose new targets for the copies. This is a Storm player's dream. I have 90 copies on the stack. I copy them all, but I can't copy this one.
Wow. Yeah.
I really like that one a lot.
The Nazgul closed round at night, and I was besieged. Such light and flame cannot have been seen on weathertops since the war beacons of old.
Love it.
Nice.
And then we have the Doors of Durin. 3 red and a green. This is the door where the Watcher in the water would be. Whenever you attack Scry 2, then you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and attacking until your next turn. It gains trample if you control a dwarf, and hexproof if you control an elf.
The fact it doesn't have sacrifice stapled on that card makes it so cool.
Yep.
These effects are always put it in sacrifice.
Speak, friend, and enter.
Yeah, this is going to be Blightsteel Colossus bait for sure.
It would have been cool if they had like a little bit of like tentacle or something coming out of that pool.
Yeah, like the water was starting to come up. Yeah.
Really good as well for like a deck like a Wolfgar where you're triggering the attack trigger double up, or something with a Strionic Resonator also doubling up those triggers.
Morog.
True. Yeah, you get it. I guess multiple combats as well would be so annoying. I attack and put in a new creature, and it attacks, and then next combat they attack. The next one I have to take because it's part of one of my unofficial pairings because it's a very cool card. It's Eleanor Gardner, 3 and a green for a 2/4 halfling scout. Again, this is my thought process. They're halflings, which means they're half a person. I have to follow half the rules of what can be in my command zone. That's how you rule zero this. Yeah. I still only have one creature in the command zone.
If they're not even on top of each
they're in a trench coat
size as one creature.
That I might name that deck Eleanor like in a trench coat.
A dwarf.
Yeah.
Like they're small. They're like half a dwarf. Yeah, so like you're gonna need like 4 of them.
Brian, rule 0. Put it in. Rule 0 everything.
Don't put that in his head, Brian.
Rule 0. I add 3 inches to them.
Eleanor Gardner is again, it's a very cool one. So number 1, enters, create a food token. I love to enter the battlefield. We all know it. It's who I am as a person. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacked a food this turn, you can search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. There's a lot of cards that make a lot of foods and do a lot of food-based things. And seeing food have a tribe that isn't just like Guillaume Master Chef or whatever it is.
That was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Is really, really cool. Food tokens really weren't doing much, right? But now you got Academy Manufacture bait, which is great. I love that card. So I'm going to partner this with a bunch of cards and probably make like 10 or 11 decks with it. And people are going to have to just play with it. So. Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Next card.
This guy there?
I would like
say it
next 2 if that's all right with you guys.
Really quickly, I say it every time. That ring artwork is super cool as a frame.
Yep.
All right, carry on.
And my guess is that's Elrond and Bilbo.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But yeah, Elrond, Master of Healing. 2 green and a blue for a 4/4 legendary elf noble. Whenever you scry, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Nice top deck manipulation too.
But if you constantly scry, like if it's like scry 2, scry 2, scry 2, like you're putting 6 +1/+1 counters on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whenever you scry, that's very cool.
And he's in green, so
your token, your token doubling things
scales.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a cool. And the next one you wanted to take too?
Yeah. Before I jump into that one, I wonder if that could be like the first time Frodo goes over there after he gets stabbed with the
first
blade.
art. Yeah, that's the first art, I would believe.
Yeah,
but the second one I think is Bilbo.
Second one I think is Bilbo. But yeah, moving on. The next card is Elven Chorus, 3 and a green for an enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and creatures you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color.
What? I like that.
Mm-hmm. My initial thought with this one was this is going in Kindred immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, all your creatures just getting the tap to add 1 mana. Kind of like my Asika. But again, that's only 4 creatures. It's just an upgrade to Asika, a hard one.
Yeah.
Which again, because I'm already only trying to cast creatures in general.
Yeah, true.
So
Obviously, that next card would go in Elrond.
yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of like cards that are solid for scrying. I'll take this one for you. The Elvish Mariner.
Well, they came out with like a lot of cycling within the last one
True.
because they had a commander that did a lot of cycling. So it's kind of nice that they're doing more of scrying.
I love scry. I love to fix kind of what's coming up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love when Logan and them play and they say good players always scry to the bottom. It makes me laugh every time. Yeah. We've got our Elvish Mariner, 2 and a blue, Elf Pilot, 3/2. Whenever Elvish Mariner attacks, you scry 1, which is great. And whenever you scry, tap up to X target non-land permanents, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying. That's very cool.
That's cool.
That's neat, actually. I like that.
It's very annoying as well. I scry 3, I tap your creatures down.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the second art of this guy. Is this one of the ones that you wanted? Or did you just want those 2, Slothy?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
So the next one we have is Aramir, Marshal of Rohan. Again, I'm kind of surprised with red, but I'm all right with that. I think his second art looks like dope.
Oh yeah, that is.
But yeah, 2 and a red, legendary creature, human knight. There's your knight, Dan. Haste. Whenever one or more other attacking legendary creatures you control die, untap all creatures you control after this phase. There's an additional combat phase. This ability triggers only once each turn.
The problem with this ability triggers only once each turn is that you're obviously going to be Helm of the hosting this. So it's going to be a new creature's ability.
Every turn.
Yeah. Right, which is the problem. I guess you would need a brass squire to move it around, but like, okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what you would do. You just brass squire it over to the counter, sacrifice this one, and just have infinite combats. Yeah, go ahead, R&D.
Yeah.
Try and get around my brain. Woo! Took me 3 seconds. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in all of the colors to tutor out your artifacts, just like with your Goda already.
Yeah.
I like it. We also have Eowyn. Is that how you say it?
Eowyn.
Fearless Knight. 2 and Boros. 3/4 Human Knight Haste. When whatever they said, Fearless Knight enters the battlefield. Exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. Hilarious. Legendary creatures you control gain protection from each of that creature's color until end of turn. Also hilarious. Because you're going to hit their commander with it almost every time.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so it's normally going to be their best creature, and then you're just going to, have protection from their deck.
Yeah. Next one we've got is Fall of Kaer Andros. 2 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, amass Orcs X, where X is the excess damage. And you can pay 7 and a red to have it deal 7 damage to target creature.
Put this out in Blasphemous Act. Hey, what's up, guys?
I'm going to take the next card after the next card.
The next card after the next card?
Yeah.
That's Kalen.
I want the flavor.
Yeah. Fall, everything that's a tree is Kalen. Fall of Gil-galad, is that what it is? Gil-galad? Either way, he's a friend.
I have no idea.
1 and 1 green. It's a saga. We have first one, scry 2. Second one, put 2 on 1 counters on target creature control. Again, so far great. Third, until end of turn, target creature you control gains. Whenever this creature dies, draw 2 cards. Then that creature fights up to 1 other target creature. That's a great saga.
Mm-hmm.
Does the creature die and then fight?
Who knows?
Zombie creatures.
No, it gains whenever it dies, draws. Then it fights. So it's a death match. Death fight.
The next card I wanted because it's Fangorn, Tree Shepherd. He talks to the trees. He sways. He does tree things. The alt art for it looks awesome, but it's 4 and 3 green. A legendary creature, Tree Folk. Tree Folk you control have vigilance. Whenever one or more tree folk you control attacks, add twice that much green mana. You don't lose unspent green mana. It's as steps and phases end.
I'm in love with it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm nothing a tree.
I've never built an actual tree folk deck because usually tree folk are relatively expensive, but I think I should try it.
Now you've got Treebeard.
Yeah. Treebeard
Well,
has to lead it.
And
but
that's a really, really good ability. You add a double your mana. That's solid. That's really, really solid.
Yeah.
And not losing it is also solid if you have, as Brian would obviously put in your deck, a Seedborn Muse.
Yep.
I amass 400 green mana. What are you doing with it? I don't know. Tree folk things?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're saving our acorn, guys.
Next one we've got here is Faramir, Prince of Ithilien. 2 white and a blue for a 3/3 legendary human noble. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent, and at the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. Otherwise, create 3 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens.
Building it.
Or Gondor.
Building it for sure.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Fangorn Tree Shepherds 4/10.
This is my life. This is group hug, and if you attack me, here come the soldier tokens.
Yeah, right?
I like this. I'm going to build this for sure. And you're in all the colors that can fetch out my Anointed Procession, can fetch out my double draw cards, and can copy that Anointed Procession. You want to attack me? I'm going to make like 18 soldiers. What's up? What's up? What's up? Again, also wish it had the soldier type. Leading a soldier token deck in Azorius would be really cool.
I do like that it says human soldier.
Yeah, humans good.
That's the only thing that I really enjoy, that it narrowed down more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Faramir,
I just
Boromir,
the noble type. I understand it from the flavor of the movie, blah blah blah. But they should have given them like the better, more like playable types, because I think people generally, it's me, I'm people, like to build decks that are helmed by the kind of token in the deck. You know, again, this would be a really cool soldier deck. It's like, this is my soldier deck, and you're like, it's a noble. Yeah.
Royalty, yeah.
Yeah. Just trust me. It's very cool though. I'm still gonna build it.
Is this now
Soldier group hug?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'll force you to enjoy the group.
Yeah, you get it.
I don't know which order we're in now.
Yeah, you take it, Brian.
We got Fires of Mount Doom, 2 red. Does better destroy the ring. Legendary enchantment. When Fires of Mount Doom enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. 2 and a red. Exile a top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you play a card this way, Fires of Mount Doom deals 2 damage to each player.
That's
Sounds
brutal.
right up
I'd
your
have a
alley.
stroke if someone did that to one of my equipped up creatures. That's rough.
That might be enjoyable to watch.
You'd watch my blood pressure go up for sure. But more than that, that's a really good mana sink.
Yep.
Just you've got, because a lot of time in green decks, especially like a green and red deck, specifically my Rata, Grand Warlord Rata, where you attack and you get all of that mana. I always have so much mana and nothing to do with it. But the fact that I can just exile 30 cards from the top of my library, play out a bunch of other elves, and then 2 damage to each player as I do it, that's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good mana sink. Love a good lightning bolt. This is more shock, I guess, but
What about both?
yeah, true. Again, I would also let somebody play this that way. Legendary enchantments being a commander, I think, would be fun. Slothy,
I think this next one, the foil would look fantastic.
Yeah. Again, really cool colors.
Mm-hmm. Next up we've got Flame of Anor. 1 blue and a red for an instant. Choose 1. If you control a wizard as you cast a spell, you may choose 2 instead. Target player draws 2 cards. Destroy target artifact, or Flame of Anor deals 5 damage to target creature.
That's pretty gross.
Do you want this next one, Daniel? This seems like it's something that you would enjoy.
I do, yes. I was just writing down something for a future show that I thought of there. Flowering of the White Tree is a very cool card because it's just phenomenal. Again, in the artwork sense, very, very nicely done. Will look really nice in foil. We've got a double white legendary enchantment. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+1 and have ward 1. First off, this goes in every Captain Sisay deck where you're like fetching all your stuff out. That's so good. And your non-legendary creatures you control get +1/+1. No downside to this. That's so good. And I love ward.
It's so good.
Yep.
There's
next one.
Really quickly. There's been so many good legendary cards coming out in the last few sets that it's almost time to like pull that Sisay Shrines deck apart into another, or like get another one of those and fetch out all the legends. There's so many cool legendary things right now, and they keep making more legendary of everything's, right?
Yep.
I love it. But this Flowering of the White Tree is right at home with that. Okay, now carry on.
So the next card that we have here is Forged Anew. 2 and a white enchantment. When Forged Anew enters the battlefield, return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. As long as it's your turn, you may activate equip abilities anytime you could cast an interesting. There's some battlefield shenanigans. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate during each of your turns.
That's not bad at all.
That's pretty cool, yeah. I actually like that a lot.
Hey, if you actually run them, then yeah, it works out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
The Frodo's interesting too.
First one here?
Both of them, to be honest. You take the first one, I'll take the second.
Sure. First one we got is a Frodo Determined Hero, 1 and a white for a 2/2 legendary halfling warrior. Whenever Frodo Determined Hero enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach target equipment you control with mana value 2 or 3 to Frodo. That's interesting. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo.
I guarantee this is so you can't Colossus Hammer him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
That's
make
so
sense.
funny. Yeah.
12 Frodo.
The only thing, like me being a Game of Thrones fan, like this Frodo looks like the crazy guy that feeds people to his dogs from Game of Thrones.
Fair.
Artwork looks very similar.
I think I know who you're talking about, yeah.
I just can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
There were a lot of people in Game of Thrones.
There was.
So again, I can't say this enough. I'm in love with this ring art. I'm also in love with the 1-drop commander in white. So we've got Frodo Sauron's Bane, 1 white for a 1/2 halfling citizen, and we're getting Orzhov Frodo. Like Orzhov halfling tribal is pretty cool. It has the divinity thing where you keep increasing the creature type up. So first thing is you can pay hybrid mana of white black. If Frodo Sauron's Bane is a citizen, it becomes a halfling scout with base power and toughness 2/3 and lifelink. That's pretty good. Don't have to do that at sorcery speed or anything. Triple black, if Frodo is a scout, becomes a halfling rogue with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times this game. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. I love an alternate win con, and I love a cool 5 mana sink to one-shot people if I've been tempted by this ring.
Yeah, that and there's so much stuff we've seen so far where the ring tempts you. This is going to be really, really fast.
I think this could be a really, really fun. And again, all of these artworks are really, really nice looking.
Yeah, I like the Nazgul one where he's hiding behind the tree.
Yeah, all the ring ones are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
the
will be
artwork's
really
a
nice.
little bit dark on that one. Like it's very hard to see Frodo in it, but I do enjoy it. I was gonna say each of the artwork is like when he's really had decisions to make.
Yeah.
The first one is me when I crack the 1 of 1 ring.
I could see it.
Throwing it out. Brian, you want this next one?
Yeah, I'll take it. We got Galadriel, Gift Giver, 3 and 2 green. This better be like another Seaborn. Let's go. Whenever Galadriel, Gift Giver, enters the battlefield or attacks, choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Create a food token. Hey, Daniel, there's your food. And create a treasure token. And she's a 4/4.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a playable. Again, I'm not hyper excited about the mana cost. And again, I understand that it's on ETB or attack. It's going to create treasure, so you can't really cost that low. But just to me, this feels like a 4-drop or a 3-drop, right? But again, you can't give me a 3-drop that enters, gives me a treasure, then attacks and gives me a treasure.
The only weird thing is we haven't seen a black Galadriel yet, have we?
No.
Which I find really weird.
Personally, really quickly, what I think would have been like the best flavor of this was whenever it does those things, choose 2, they have to target different players.
That would have been cool.
I would have loved that kind of like glunch. Yeah, where like you give someone the food token, you get a treasure token, or I make the deal with Slothy. Okay, I'm going to buff your creature up. You can have the 1/1. I want the treasure. You don't block. I like politicsing like that. Whereas this is just only kind of one-sided. It's Galadriel gift giver, and you're only giving the gifts to yourself. Seems like a not great party guest.
Doesn't seem like a great gift.
Yeah, right.
But in the movies, like Galadriel, she has been like, she goes in and out of like episodes where she like seems like she's evil almost.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of surprised that they've given her like, I understand green because she's an elf, but like with the episodes or with the like the weird shenanigans that happens with her, I'm surprised that they didn't make her Golgari almost.
Well, there's a green blue. But again, I don't know the character at all, right? That's the next one.
Yeah, like to me, she goes kind of like ballistic, like her eyes get sunken in and her hair is all.
Oh yeah,
like
so more Gorgony.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she almost like seems like she's evil, like the ring or like because she's lived through like the whole battle with Sauron and everything. So like she's been corrupted by the evil basically a little bit, or at least that's how I understand it. I hate reading. I know I haven't read the books, but I've seen the movies. I understand a little bit. So like that's where I'm kind of surprised it's not a Golgari theme to her.
Do you want to take the next one?
Sure. So we got Galadriel of Lothlorien, 1 blue and a green. We got a couple other fancy arts here. Legendary creature, Elf Noble. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Galadriel of wherever as your ring bearer, scry 3. Whenever you scry, you may reveal the top card of your library. If a land card is revealed this way, put it onto the battlefield tapped.
Again, another really cool scry card.
Yeah.
That I'd almost want to build more as a commander.
Fits really well with
Elrond or whatever.
Guy. Yeah, Elrond. And there, the second art, the art in the ring, that's her looking all creepy.
Yeah, with like the
weird hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we covered this Gandalf, but that secondary art looks amazing.
The ring, yeah.
Being pulled down by the Balrog.
Do you want to rip through that one quickly and then?
If people listen to us, they would have already heard it, but
you do the gray, Brian, you do White Rider, and then I'll do the next one. I have thoughts on it.
Yeah. So Gandalf the Grey. 3 blue and a red for a 3/4 legendary avatar wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy or put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. I still don't like this card.
You built it.
Yes, I did. And I'm still not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Hence the name Gandalf Done Dirty.
Honestly, I built that one kind of out of spite. Originally. Especially with all of the other cards that have come from this set. I don't like this one. If it was choose one that if it was even choose one that has been chosen this turn.
Fair. Yep.
Then it would be a lot.
Well, because you almost have to go into a flicker theme this way, right?
Yeah, exactly. It
like
very much streamlined.
You're forced to flicker or redraw and recast it constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, you're either going to be penalized with knowing what's going to be on top of your library and then having to wait a whole turn cycle before you can do anything.
And it's not even optional.
yourself
So
to
if
flicker.
if you cast these, you have to do one of them.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, but that artwork looks amazing. I love it. And then we have another Gandalf. Woo. Gandalf the White Rider. 3 and a white legendary creature, avatar wizard, vigilance. Whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Scry 1. When Gandalf the White Rider dies, you may put it into its owner's library, 5th from the top. Find it weird that he has armor. That's my only downside to that.
I don't like the card at all. I think it sucks.
He just wears robes.
Yeah, he never wore armor in the books or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like something I would find usable at all. Whenever
It's
he
nice to
casts
see
a
that we're
spell.
actually starting to see some of the other characters now.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to talk about this one. In advance, I think this card sucks. I think it's terrible. I saw this card and I was like, this is a main character in the movie. Why would they give it such a terrible card? Again, I love being wrong and I love seeing people build cool things out of things that I think that sucks. But again, Gimli Mournful Avenger, 1 red, 1 green for a 3/2 dwarf warrior. Gimli Mournful Avenger has indestructible as long as 2 or more creatures died under your control this turn. That's like not a very good ability. You're not in colors that care about sacrificing. Then whenever another creature you control dies, you put a 1/1 counter on Gimli. When this ability resolves for the 3rd time this turn, Gimli fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So like to make him be able to fight you, it just seems not good. It's not colors for a sacrifice theme deck.
Yeah, it seems very much like you'd want to have a whole bunch of fight spells.
Yeah, it just
Or- It just feels clunky.
having to have 3 creatures under your control die to trigger your commander's ability in like not Orzhov, like it's not a Teysa Karlov. That's really, really rough. Like, because what are you gonna these colors are, you're gonna throw away the Line of War Elves and stuff. Okay, you're gonna make an Eldrazi Scion themed deck where you're,
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. Again, I like being wrong. I think it's cool artwork on all of them. I got nothing bad to say about that. It's cool, but I thought the card was weak.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many creatures can you possibly have to like constantly get this going?
Yeah, exactly.
And the commander itself can't sacrifice creatures. You have to have something else to sacrifice. Like, it's just so many hoops to jump through for a not that good ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't build them. I wouldn't even know how to probably build them. So
Yeah, it's not only that. Like, just if it got like the indestructible ability after X amount as a permanent ability, but you have to keep that ability going, you're gonna have to throw away 2 creatures a turn, and then you're losing it at end step. So someone's just like, okay, well, my creature's indestructible. I'm like, all right, I pass. They're like, okay, Doomblade. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
oh no, right? It's just, it's a lot. It's not a very wonderful ability.
I think this is Slothy's turn.
Should you want to take this next one?
Sure.
You also love the next one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Glowing Dwarf Emissary, 2 and a red, legendary creature, Dwarf Advisor. Whenever you cast a historic spell, create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Tap and sacrifice a treasure, go to target creature.
Love it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That is a 3/3.
I really like that card a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Slothy, go ahead and take the next cool card.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the wife of Tom Bombadil, Goldberry River Daughter. 1 and a blue for a 1/3 legendary creature nymph. You can tap to move a counter of each kind not on Goldberry River Daughter from another target permanent you control onto Goldberry. And you can pay a blue and tap. Move 1 or more counters from Goldberry onto another target permanent you control. If you do, draw a card.
That's pretty cool.
I really like everything this card does. I really like the art. I really like the mana cost. It's
The
great.
artwork's so cool. I loved seeing some of the comments on the artwork. A bunch of the no wonder Tom Bombadil was never tempted by the ring. It made me laugh pretty hard.
Right.
Those made me laugh pretty hard. Those ones. It is really, really cool artwork. It's very, very well drawn. It's a very unique ability, and it's 100% Atraxa-bait. Because generally speaking, in Atraxa, the problem is putting the counter on Atraxa to proliferate Atraxa up itself, right?
Mhm.
And now you can just put any of those counters over. You can move them around. You're getting draw from moving them around. I think it's super cool.
Fear nothing, for tonight you are under the roof of Tom Bombadil.
I'm very excited to see what people build with this because there's so many cool and playable counters.
Yeah.
Next one's pretty cool too. You want that one? Oh, you know what? I'm going to take the next two. I want both of these. We have Golem Scheming Guide, 1 and a black for a 2/1 halfling horror. When Golem Scheming Guide attacks, you look at the top 2 cards of your library, put them back in any order, then choose land or non-land. I am in love with this. It's very fun. An opponent guesses whether the top card of your library is the chosen kind. Reveal it. If they guess right, you remove Golem from combat. Otherwise, you draw a card and Golem can't be blocked. This is a super fun card to just smash people in the face with for this 2/1. Worst case,
really
it comes
cool.
out of combat. But I just love the what do you think's up top, Brian? Call my bluff.
Toad land.
Please stop hitting me with this game. I don't want to play this game anymore.
It's like another one of your brother's decks.
Yeah, I love that ability to play the what's up top. I like what's up top roulette. And I like draw built into commanders. And I like to be aggressive. Okay.
Do we want to stop in between these horns?
No. No, I want to talk about a few more. Number 1, this Horn of Gondor, because I'm going to put it in a ton of decks. I love to make creatures. Horn of Gondor, 3 mana. When it enters, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Great tribe, great token, enter the battlefield. Then 3 and a tap, you create X 1/1 white human soldiers, where X is the number of humans you control. I really like that. That's really good. That's a great token generator. It's a great way to sink your mana in and just keep your things going up. But in a like a Night's Theme deck or something like that, that's gonna be crazy.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Right? Like that's a rough one.
And this in Boromir. Or Fairmere.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Because then that's actually Gondor.
True. Do you want the next one, Brian?
Sure. We got Horn of the Mark. 2 colorless, legendary artifact. Whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Yeah.
Nothing special, really.
The next card,
Yeah.
a lot of people kept saying it just in a few of the discourse, like, this next card's not even playable. I assure you, this card is not only playable, it's infuriating, and I would lose my mind if people are playing it against me. With how I like to play, it's
Yeah,
that
you like to
I
have a
was
lot
just
of cards in hand.
yeah.
I was just not playing.
Some people are like, I wish it was 2. I was like, you wish it was 2? Are you insane? It's this is a strong card. Isildur's Fateful Strike. 2 double black for a legendary instant. You destroy target creature, which is already good. People need more removal. If its controller has more than 4 cards in hand, they exile cards from their hand equal to the difference. Very often, you can hit 30 or 40 cards from me on this. That's rough.
Yeah.
And it's an instant.
Legendary instant.
Yeah. That's gross. That's a gross card.
If you think about it, something like Murder itself is already 3 mana. 1 double black.
Yep.
So for 1 more mana, you're exiling, like you said, maybe 30, 40 cards from someone's hand.
Yeah, like it's a strong effect. Even if they only have 7 cards in hand at their end step, But there's every play group has someone like Brian, like me, who lives to draw cards. Like me and Brian constantly have like 30 or 40 cards in hand. That's just how we play. Reliquary Tower is a card that is in an unreasonable amount of my decks. I've got it in my Wilson deck because I like to stack Wilson so high, and then I like Rishkar's Expertise. right? So that
Yeah,
you can really, really hurt me with this card. You can hurt my feelings and my soul.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Also, this next card too I have to take as well because I'm building this because it's so cool. King of the Oathbreakers. First off, should have had blue in it because that is yeah. I don't know the lore, but I know the flavor of the card, and the flavor of the card should have had blue in it. So 2, 1 white, 1 black for a 3/3 Spirit Noble with flying. Very good stats. Spirit Noble again, not a great trap. Spirit's cool though still. Whenever King of the Oathbreakers or another spirit you control becomes the target of a spell, it phases out. That is obnoxious. It's so brutal to just not. If the card ended there, I'd be like, this is super playable. You will never kill my creatures unless you have board wipes. But then it's whenever King of the Oathbreakers or another spirit you control phases in, you create a tapped 1/1 white spirit token with flying. That's disgusting.
It's pretty good.
And phasing, your tokens would come back.
Yeah, they sure would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I try and kill you, Brian, and you play Teferi's Protection and phase them all out.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And phasing happens before your untap. Yeah. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Oh, so they enter and I would actually be able to untap them. That's amazing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't attack. You're lucky there. I need haste.
I'm double check that of the phasing rule because phasing's so weird.
Well, it's once they enter, right? Once your spirits enter, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. But then as you hit your upkeep or your untap, they still entered this turn, so they wouldn't have haste.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Phasing is an ability that modifies the rule of the untap step during each player's untap before they untap. Yeah, so they come in and they untap.
But they still, they can't attack then.
Oh, yeah, but boo-hoo.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like, that's rough. And again, like I said, Teferi's Protection is a played card. It's not a card you just, like, see, like, once in a while and stuff. People like Teferi's Protection and stuff. It's a
very good card.
It's expensive for a reason.
Next up, we have Legolas, Master Archer, 1 and 2 green, legendary creature, Elf Archer. Has reach. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Legolas, Master Archer, put a +1/+1 counter on Legolas. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature, and it's a 1/4.
Yeah. That's gross.
I don't mind it.
Again, all of the artworks of them. There's a lot of very cool artworks in this set.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what part of the big mural as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like a lot of your main characters, right? And like again, it's almost like Game of Thrones where everyone is a main character. Like everyone's noted throughout the films or the books.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's important at some point.
Yeah. So like I really like the different arts and that we're getting multiple of different characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that like there's some like King of the Oathbreakers. Like I'm kind of surprised that I saw that before Legolas.
Yeah, fair. We'll do a few more. We're running longer than normal today.
Alrighty.
Well, we'll do a few more, and I'll scroll down and see if there's notable things.
I gotta get head note here soon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Slothy, you go ahead and take this next one.
Sure. Next up we've got Lobelia Sackville Baggins. 2 and a black for a 2/3 legendary halfling citizen with flash and menace. When Lobelia Sackville Baggins enters the battlefield, exile target creature card from an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Then create X treasure tokens where X is the exiled card's power.
I love this because she's stealing Bilbo's silverware.
Yeah.
That's funny.
The Hobbit, yeah. He can't trust a Baggins.
That's really funny. I didn't know that.
It would have been really funny if they were all like flowing out of her pockets.
Yeah. Basically, when Bilbo goes on his first adventure, and that's when he finds the ring, he comes back to his house after the adventure, and like they're auctioning everything he owns off.
That's funny.
So, and she's sitting there like walking out the door with his silverware. So he's chasing everyone down, trying to get, and like everyone's like, "I thought you were dead."
We'll skip through. We'll kind of just go through and hit some of the more notable legendary creatures because I think that's what most of us care about more. There's a few good ones. One is this Slothy, Corrupt Sheriff. 1 white, 1 black for a 2/1 halfling rogue. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose a life and create a treasure token. I really like that.
On a two mana commander, that's really good.
Yeah.
Especially because early game, people are going to be ramping out pretty hard.
I like that actually.
They also gave white a draw land, which is interesting. The Minas Tirith, legendary land. When it enters tapped unless you control a legendary creature, taps for a white, or 1 and a white, tap, draw a card, activate only if you attack 2 or more creatures. It's white, so there's hoops to jump through for the draw, but still.
I love that the second art, the full art one that they have there, has Gandalf riding in the front.
Yeah.
I was wondering, we just jumped past Merry, which was Merry and Pippin. So I do enjoy, like, if you enjoy the movies, they're in here. The other art for Minas Tirith looks amazing too.
The third one there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also kind of like with the, was it Odawara? It also kind of reminds me of a Star Destroyer.
Okay, yeah.
That was the shapes of it.
Yeah. not the city itself.
We
I
also,
don't know where you're going with this. But
we also have this Mithril Coat, which is what I wanted to talk about. It's 3 mana. It's a legendary artifact equipment with flash, indestructible, and enters. You attach it to target legendary creature you control, which is so good. And equipped creature has indestructible for 3. That's really, really good. Being able to flash that in on your commander when it's about to die or be removed, and you can't remove this coat already. You're gonna have to exile the artifact or exile the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really wanted to call this card out because I'm really excited for it for my Nekuzar deck. The Orcish Bowmasters.
Yeah.
1 and a black, Orc Archer. Flash when Orcish Bowmasters enter the battlefield, and whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, Orcish Bowmaster deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1.
That's
It
a really
actually
good
gives
card.
me an ability to protect myself.
Yeah.
By getting people to draw.
Yeah.
I can at least
And you can blow
blocker.
creatures off too. It's going to be a very strong for competitive metas.
Mm-hmm.
The second artwork for it is just amazing.
Oh, that's very cool. I was going to say as well that Moria Marauder, the double red 1/1 Goblin Warrior double strike. Whenever Goblin or Orc you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You can play that this turn. That really lets you dig deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna get you to watch the movies, Dan. We're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
I'm in.
Jumping down a little bit, one that I was really excited for is There and Back Again.
Oh, before you do that one, I just wanted to say the file of the Galadriel thing. I like 3 mana artifacts, the 3 mana rocks. 3 mana. Yeah. If you draw a card where you have no cards in hand, you draw 2. Love that. If you gain life when you have 5 or less, you gain twice as much. Love that. And tap to add 1 mana. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, There and Back Again. This is one that I was very excited to put in Tom Bombadil. 3 double red. First phase, up to 1 target creature can't block for as long as you control There and Back Again. The ring tempts you. Second, search your library for a mountain card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. And the third one, create Smaug, a legendary 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying, haste, and when this creature dies, create 14 treasure tokens.
Where is There and Back Again?
It's further down.
Is it uncommon?
It'll be way down. No, it'll be a rare, just in the tease. I did want to talk as well.
Oh, there we go. It's red.
Just one thing that I find awesome about the third one is they create 14 treasure tokens because the company in The Hobbit had 13 dwarves and a hobbit.
Yep.
Which I love.
A thief.
And a thief. Yes, a thief.
That's cool, yeah.
So I think that number is very apt.
They do seem like they've done a lot of flavor wins in this one.
Absolutely, yeah.
They had so much to work with, which I love. And like I'm really excited for that Pippin card actually. Like that
That's
one looks really good.
the guard of the Citadel. That's the one I was just going back to. Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely am
okay.
gonna put that in.
You please.
Yeah,
Please
Pippin,
take it.
guard of the Citadel. It's just Azorius, 1 white, 1 blue, halfling soldier, which again playable. Are we gonna rock some Azorius soldiers? Because I'm into it. 2/2 vigilance, ward 1. And you can tap another target creature you control gains protection from the card type of your choice until end of turn. I really, really like that. I don't know how good it is as a commander because it can't really protect itself. But in that, like the Faramir, was that what it was? The other one that let me either draw or get revenge. I really, really like that. This
I really like it because Pippin, he basically has like he ended up guarding like Faramir, like Faramir caught them or whatever. But like he felt guilty of killing someone or like for someone's death. So like he basically was like, I'll do my part and protect you basically.
Yeah.
So I'd like the real flavor to this card.
The other I was gonna say too is the Samwise. Is just like a better Guillaume in every manner. Samwise Gamgee is 1 green, 1 white for a 2/2 halfling peasant. Nice, peasant tribal. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you create a food. So again, you're already getting your token generation. Sack 3 foods, return target historic from your graveyard to your hand. That's really, really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a food tribal deck for sure.
What in the love of God did they do? Rivendell's a blue card? Gonna have a friggin' stroke.
The land?
Yes.
I don't know. Is that like the home of something?
I know that's because they did the Shire as the green one, but that doesn't make sense.
It should have been at least a green blue land.
Yeah, green blue.
It's basically like a elvish city built into like a valley that has a river flowing through it with a waterfall.
The other I want to talk is Sorin's Ransom. That I think is very playable. 1/1 blue, 1 black. Choose an opponent. They look at the top 4 cards of your library, separate them into a face down and a face up. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other, and the ring tempts you. That seems, based on what the ring tempts you thing is, seems like a great flavor.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this set.
One down just a little bit further is Sting, the Glinting Dagger. 2 mana for legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 in haste. At the beginning of each combat, untap equipped creature, and equipped creature has first strike as long as it's blocking or blocked by a goblin or orc.
That's cool.
And it's equipped for 2. I love it.
And then we got the Balrog.
Oh. We missed 2 that I have to talk about as well. Number 1 is Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire, and it's I've seen people so salty about this. I've seen people on Twitter and Instagram say that they will not play against this card as a commander. They'll outright refuse, which makes me laugh. Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire is 2/1 blue, 1 black for a 2/4 Avatar Rogue. Activated abilities of lands your opponent's control can't be activated unless they're mana abilities, which is awesome. Sharky, Tyrant of the Shire has all activated abilities of lands your opponent's control except mana abilities, which is awesome. And mana of any type can be spent to activate their abilities. I really like this.
Nice.
You will fetch
I don't understand
nothing
why people would be upset about this.
because it turns off all your fetch lands and all of your like Thespian Stage, any of those things.
So deal with the problem. It's a creature.
Play more basics.
Yeah, right? Yeah, play more basics is the right thing. And then I have to talk about Shelob. Well, whatever. I'm gonna say the last.
Show her the respect.
I'm gonna say the next part wrong too. Child of Ungoliant. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is the spider demon is pretty cool.
Ungoliant.
Yeah, Ungoliant. There we go. Thank you, Slothy. We have 4/1 black, 1 green for an 8/8 spider demon death touch ward 2. What were they thinking?
Finally giving us a good commander for.
What were they thinking with those stats? An 8/8 at 6 with death touch and ward 2 and not a downside? Other spiders you control also get death touch and ward 2. Again, what were they thinking?
Bonkers.
And whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, you create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a food artifact with tap and pay 2, tap, sack it. You gain 3 life, and it loses all its other card types. So you turn all of their creatures into food tokens. Like, this is such a cool card, but that stat line is crap.
That is
that you're not even in a color. You're not even in a color that's hard to hit 6 mana. Like you have green. They're just giving you an 8/8 at 6 because why not? Who thought of
Basically,
this?
she will poison you and then cocoon you and store you away for food later.
All right. Well, that doesn't
That's the
change that
flavor
it's an
behind it.
8/8 Death Touch Ward 2 that gives all your other spiders Death Touch Ward 2.
Could have given it a 6/6, but yeah, 8/8's big.
You could have given it a 3/3 and it would have been a good card. I understand it's a spider, it has 8 legs, but like let's be adults about
It's a
this.
giant spider. Giant spider. She big, thick.
Big spider, little spider, doesn't matter. It's crazy.
Or like a 4/6, 4/8. Like make her booty big.
Make it a 1/8.
It's because it's a spider. Yeah.
Make it a 1/8. Who knows? It has Death Touch already. It's already a problem. Because that's the other thing is when you give a commander at 6 mana 8/8 and then give it a take their creature effect, you really make a problem because you can't take 3 shots from this commander. You have to block it.
Yeah.
Right? But then I'm going to just constantly be getting your creatures. Because you're going to run all of the things. You're going to run like
Especially
that Mithril Coat, like the indestructible things like that.
Especially if you can ping with her or just pick off creatures.
Oh, and it's not even combat damage. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies. So again, any fight cards, anything like that, any like your creatures do, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I like just did something like the it's the trash equipment. It's the bow thing. You pay 1, you tap it. Can you imagine if I like, just ping your Seedborn with?
I'd be angry
with Shalob.
Your food.
Yeah.
Shelob.
Shelob. I'm gonna build this card for sure. That's where I'm getting at with this.
Yeah, you were talking about this one when it was first spoiled, and it's
obnoxious.
Awesome.
It's such a cool card. I could talk all day about this one. We also have the Smeagol. We have to talk Smeagol because the artwork's super cool and his main character.
Last one.
Helpful guide. 1/1 black 1 green. 4/2 halfling horror. Beginning of your end step. If a creature died under your controller's turn, the ring tempts you. So again, very, very easy to hit that maximum tempting. Whenever the ring tempts you, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land. Put that card on the battlefield tapped under your control and the rest into their graveyard. Don't play this against me. Please. Have a heart.
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah, that's taking my lands is pretty rough.
You deserve it sometimes.
Brian, please. I have a family.
You deserve it like
Sometimes.
100% of the time, Daniel.
I have a family.
You make yourself seem like the victim in these podcasts, but then once people play with you, they're like, "Oh, so yes."
Oh no, I get it.
Everyone plays. Yeah, everyone plays 5 minutes with me, and they're like, "Did he just take his soul ring for no reason?" Yeah.
And I try not to have grudges as we go from game to game, but
let me tell you, I make it hard.
Sometimes it's hard.
The very last thing we'll say on the episode here. Number 1, there is a boatload of uncommon legends, and I love that. Mm-hmm. They're so good. Brian, read the one uncommon legend that you have to read before the end of the episode, and then we're done.
Fun.
Starts with a B. You said you want all of them.
B.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, I'm too far. B. Boop, 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 boop. B. Buttlebur?
No, up.
Oh, Bill the Pony?
Yes.
We got Bill the Pony, 3 and a white, legendary creature horse. When Bill the Pony enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Sacrifice a food until end of turn. Target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
The worst thing about this is I'm gonna at some point get blitzed by someone's 40/40 Bill the Pony equipped with swords. I'm just gonna Bill the Pony's just gonna ram me in the face. It's gonna be brutal.
Bill.
Yeah, there's I wish we did have a little more time. Obviously, we've got more. We're gonna record next week's episode out there. So, but
out there, out where?
Out of face to face. Yes. But there's so many uncommon ones that it's really, really a lot of cool stuff to build.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a whole other episode on the number of uncommon legends in this set alone, and that's before even the commander set. Like I said, there's so many in this set. Ripping through the legendaries was it was a labor. We got there, but yeah. That's we'll end there because Brian does have to go.
Got to go and help the family. The fam jam.
There we go. There's my music. Thanks everyone for getting to the end of this monstrosity where it's takes a minute. We get there. If you like any of the stuff we're doing, go to intotheNight.com. All our content is there. If you are able to come out to the face-to-face event in the Alberta region, Edmonton, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a bunch of games, lots of pretty cool giveaways out there. Lots of other stuff coming out as well for more giveaways and like potential sponsor stuff ideas that we got in the works there. So that's exciting. If you like our stuff, like, share, subscribe. It really, really helps out. If you want to go above and beyond that, come join us on Patreon. It's really, really fun to chat with everyone about all the groups we like, all the things we make, see the decks people build. I really enjoy talking with everyone about that stuff. We're going to be doing Patreon streams pretty soon. And yeah, it's just been a good time. You guys did the other stream the other night, had a great time. It's just been a lot of fun. Lots of cool content coming. We're going to be recording a lot in the coming weekend. So Brian, I, and Slothy are going to be all up in the same days off work kind of thing. So just make a ton of stuff. So lots of really cool stuff coming out after that. Thanks again to everyone for listening. And yeah, let me know what you think about these cards. Which would you build? Why is Gimli the worst card they've ever printed? Let me know. I would really, really be interested. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, pretty disrespectful. It just seems, I'm not even a fan and I'm offended by this. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.